Howdy folks, Jason and I with Kirk Giordano Plastering are going to show you how to use today a BMI product. It is, they say, the clean choice if you're using a silo. And what this is okay, BMI, they sell color coats, acrylic finishes, scratch and browns, they sell all kinds of stuff. But what we're going to use is a BMI standard with fibers. See that? Fibers right there. That means you can do the scratch and brown the same day. Now, BMI recommends you go one pass. Generally, we go a scratch and a brown no matter what accelerated products we use. They say put it on 7/8 of an inch thick, and I say I can put it on 2 inches thick in one pass if I want. So this will give me something a little bit more exciting to do than I generally do. Depends on the job. I had a fella, Clark, call me from LA, and he says, "Hey Kirk, can you show me how to use these BMI products?" And I thought, absolutely. Again, I can use any one of 20 different products on this particular patch. It's roughly 8 by 10, the patch we're going to do. And we're going over lath. So I'm going to give you some tips, guys. I probably won't be able to cover all the tips, but first of all, I'm going to give you a name of a fella who can cover any questions if you guys have them. And that is Tom. Tom is the Senior Sales Consultant with BMI. His telephone number is area code 408-592-6842. And by the way, they've got a fleet of rental mixers. Generally, if I'm doing a whole house, what I generally would do is get a silo. This is a truck brings a silo, lifts it up, and it's about 30 feet tall. And that silo, that eliminates all the chances of human error, meaning we just push a button and the dry mix comes out and water hits it, and we can put a wheelbarrow underneath, we can put a pump, however we want to do it, but it really eliminates all the human error. If you have, say, smaller jobs, they do have electric mixers. You can put them in the back of your car, in the trunk. They're about, they're a lot smaller than this mixer here, which brings me to another subject. I don't recommend anybody but plastering contractors try to mix BMI in a mixer like this. Why? Because you can't overmix this product. It just messes with the integrity of the strength. So we are going to mix this about 3 minutes. You mix it anymore, they do not recommend it. How can we do it and you folks can't? Well, Jason's been mixing for 10 years. Now what he's going to do is we're going to start off with 5 bags. He's going to put, I don't know, 8-10 gallons of water in there, and he's going to mix this very slow for a minute, then put the blades on for about 2 and turn the blades off. The only time we're going to put the blades back on is when we're putting it into the wheelbarrow from this mixer. Again, guys, don't try to do that unless you're a licensed plastering contractor, because here, see this? Do not overmix. And in a lot of their literature, they say do not overmix. In fact, even in their literature, which you can Google, in red, do not overmix. Back in the 80s, 81, 82, 83, we used to use La Habra and Western reinforced fiber materials. You can mix those all day long. These newer materials, 30 years later, you cannot overmix. Again, it really does affect the integrity of the strength. So I'm going to show you just how to put it on, because a fella asked me how to do it, and I thought, man, absolutely, I can put it on 7/8 of an inch thick. It's kind of fun going that fat. Anyhow, so Jay's going to mix this up, and when we get to that stage of putting it on, he'll bring it out to me, and we'll both put it on. We'll show you guys how to apply it in one coat. Jay mixed those bags in about 40 seconds. He allowed it to mix 2 minutes, and now the only time he's turning this on is to actually pull the material out, and then the blades are going to be turned off. Takes practice. He's been doing this 10 years. All right, guys, Jay is putting that stuff on the board. Notice how thick that is. That's about how I like that material right there. If it's runny, I'll never be able to hang it 7/8 of an inch. Never, never. It'll just keep falling. That's why it takes so much practice to mix this stuff, guys. And unless you've been doing it 10 years or a licensed plastering contractor, homeowners, don't try to mix it in a mixer. Mix the other stuff, but not this. Okay, guys, this is the fun part right here. I like doing this. I can do this all day long, and usually I do. Now, they like it done in one pass. Well, we can do that. And just for the sake of spreading this, I like to do, say, a coat real fat, because I'm going to Derby this. So it doesn't have to be pretty. I'm not trying to make this pretty. In fact, I want it ugly. Just, we call it fat and ugly in the trade, and then I'll Derby it when I get the whole wall done. I'll take a rod and show you what I'm talking about. And generally I will start at the top, but to show you guys what to expect, I'm starting in the middle. When you next see me, all I'm doing here is using up a wheelbarrow full. But that just kind of shows you what we're doing here. I'm going to use this wheelbarrow right here, and then I'm going to set up a ladder and do the top portion. Jason and I actually are both going to do that. Okay, guys, I got the top piece out, and I'll show you. Jay and I have both been putting this on. I'll show you something else too, which is somewhat important, guys. Now, I could have had Jay mix this a little soupier. I told him, make it tight. And tight in the industry means it's pretty stiff, because we plan on putting it on thick. Now, in the industry, I also call this a sticky plaster, because it is pretty sticky. Once I get this where I can look at it and say, oh, that's kind of true and plumb, I want it anywhere between, I want it around 7/8 of an inch thick. And then I'm going to grab my Derby, and my Derby's going to chew it out a little bit better. Like, say, if I miss some spots, no big deal. I miss a spot here or there, that rod, or Derby, which we call it here, they call it straight edges other places, T-bars in other countries. Doesn't matter what you call it, it'll straighten it out for me. I'll show you. And put on just the rest of this mud. I always like to use the mud I got on my board. One more. So here we go. All I'm doing is just getting rid of the mud now, guys. I got my last hawk full. And I can close my eyes, put this mud anywhere, guys. I don't have to look. It doesn't have to be pretty. Fat and ugly, just like we used to say when we were working union. I'd work behind a pump, they'd spray it on, and I'd tell the guys, man, don't be chintzy with the mud. Spray it on fat and ugly, so give me something to work with. Now this, again, is my Derby, we call it here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chew this wall out. Basically, taking this up, coming up. Now, conventional methods, obviously with, say, Portland cement. Of course you can't do this because it would fall right off. But this particular material, it has its advantages. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow this to cure or set. And when it's done setting, then I'm going to come back and hard rubber float it. BMI, a lot of the materials I use will sponge float it with water. BMI doesn't recommend that. They say just put it on, wait for it to set, and then either hard rubber float it or steel trowel it, meaning take the trowel on its edge and scrape back. Say if we were doing tile work afterward, we take a trowel and just scrape off the edges. But using this Derby here also helps that. So anyway, guys, I'm going to finish doing the bottom exactly like I've done there. I'm going to get on the ladder and pull this up to the top right there, but I can reach most of it right here. And again, it's a sticky material. This Derby is serrated because I want to open it up so it'll dry quick. Okay guys, we've got the easy stuff done. Watch where I'm going, a landmine around here. And all I'm doing now is just making that wall true and plumb. And we got to come back here and do a texture. And what I was going to do was spread this out, leave it alone, and then in a week, or actually the cementitious texture we're going to do is simply to match this finish over here. It's not a color coat. If you're going to do a color coat on this, you would want to wait 7 days to 10. If you're going to do a paint or an acrylic, you want to wait at least 28 days for it to cure. Anyhow, that's it with the one coat system. This can set, I mean, in about 6 hours I can put a texture, but it's not going to set until then. But fortunately, I'm in no hurry. Anyhow, folks, my name is Kirk with Kirk Giordano Plastering. As usual, we thank you for watching, and we will see you guys on the next one.